Soil microbiology. Soil microbiology is the branch of science which deals with microorganisms and their interaction with soil as well as with plants. Soil is made up of silicate and dissolved organic content, inorganic elements, partially degraded and fully degraded bio-waste, and humus. The environment is good for growth of microorganisms, especially in good watery conditions. Soil will be rich in microorganisms. If you consider the microorganisms in soil, it is formed of 40% bacteria and actinomycetes. These two comprises 40%, and fungi and algae comprises another 40%. Earthworms and larger organisms constitute the remaining 20%. So 40% is formed of bacteria and actinomycetes. As we all know, bacteria are tiny one-celled prokaryotic organisms which will be producing 5 billion in 12 hours. That is the growth, provided it should have enough water and food availability. And these organisms are abundant in rhizosphere. Rhizosphere is the region surrounding each root. The soil region which surrounds a root is called rhizosphere. So this is a root, and this region which surrounds a root is called rhizosphere. And why rhizosphere is significant is because microorganisms tend to live near to rhizosphere, or the presence of microorganisms are more surrounding the roots. And the reason is roots secrete carbohydrate and proteins, and that will be attracting the microorganisms towards the rhizosphere zone. And the root will be penetrating up to 2 feet, and the region surrounding this root there will be rhizosphere, and the microorganisms are present on this rhizosphere region. And you can see small microorganisms, microbacteria surrounding the roots. These are all bacteria which are attached or which are close to root. And bacteria can be of four types. They can be decomposers, which decompose the complex organic materials, and they do this with the help of exogenous enzymes. Enzymes are produced from these microorganisms and secreted to the substrate or to the environment, and the decomposition takes place extracellularly. And some microorganisms live in relation with plants. See, for example, rhizobium live in association with legumes, thereby doing nitrogen fixation. Some of the microorganisms, bacteria, can cause disease like galls. Gall formation in plants are carried out by these microorganisms. Some other microorganisms are called chemoautotrophs, which are bacteria. They synthesize, they get energy from the compound by disintegrating the chemical compounds. And these microorganisms will do the formation of root nodules. And within the 40%, other than bacteria, there are also another group of microorganisms called actinomycetes are present. They are bacteria which grow as hyphae, and the typical smell of the earth, or the earthy smell, is due to the production of a compound called geosmin by actinomycetes. That's the reason why earth is getting a particular smell. And these microorganisms are capable of living in lack of water, or if in the scarcity of water also these microorganisms will grow. They can exist in high pH. They are mainly aerobic heterotrophs, nutrition is heterotrophic, but they are aerobic, and they can break down chitin cellulose. These are compounds which are hard to decompose, and they are called as recalcitrants. And these actinomyces can disintegrate these compounds also. They produce antibiotics like streptomycin. And so of the microbial fauna, or of the microbial or of the microorganism within the soil, 40% is formed of bacteria and actinomyces, and the remaining 40% is formed of protozoan, algae and fungi. Coming to protozoa, there are euglena, there are paramecium, all these are protozoans. These protozoans are unicellular, they are larger than bacteria. They include amoeba, ciliates and flagellates. They are heterotrophic, normally they feed on bacteria, and they do mineralization. They feed on waste material, and the excess amount of food which what they take will be mineralized. They also form symbiotic relationship within the gut of the organisms, and they always need water to grow. And another one group is called algae. They are filamentous, colonial and unicellular. We all know algae, and mainly they are blue-green type of algae are existing. And also unicellular algae include diatoms and green algae. They are autotrophic. They will get water, they will get sunlight from the sun, and with the help of this sunlight, they will do the photosynthesis, and thus they grow. They form carbonic acid and thus help in the weathering of rocks by the formation of carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid will be dissolved to the surface where they grow, and with this carbonic acid they are capable of disintegrating the earth's surface, and they help in the aeration of soil, and some forms of blue-green algae can also do nitrogen fixation. And another group of microorganisms are called fungi. They grow as long threads, and the threads are called hyphae. And this hyphae will grow through the soil particles, roots and rocks. And the collection of hyphae are called mycelium. And higher form of fungi will produce basidium, which we called as mushrooms. And they are club-shaped in structure, and the club-shaped structure what we see as on the surface of the soil are the fruiting body of these organisms. And fungi often disintegrate organic matter. They are capable of disintegrating organic matter, and at low pH often bacteria cannot disintegrate, but a fungi can disintegrate organic matter at low pH also. And they are capable of attacking any organic residue, whatever may be the organic residue, everything will be disintegrated by this fungi. They are mainly aerobic heterotrophs, so they want oxygen, they need oxygen for their growth, and they are mainly chemosynthetic, and they will absorb the dissolved nutrients. And calcium, one of the derivative of calcium carbonate is called calcite. These fungi living in the soil will promote formation of calcite, and for the formation of calcite they require carbonate, alkalinity and calcium ion concentration. Carbonate, or they need carbonate, higher amount of carbonate, and this that is called a carbonate alkalinity, and they also need calcium Ca2++, and this will also be, these two components will be formed by fungi during their metabolism, and this carbonate alkaline carbon or this carbonate alkalinity and calcium will combine together to form calcite. So they do this in the soil. And the growth of the fungi around the roots. Often the fungi are found to grow enormously surrounding the roots. This yellow color represents the mycelium. The mycelia grow surrounding the root, and thereby it increases the surface area of root, and thus help the acquisition of water, or with this genuine roots of the plants, the surface area of water absorption will be less, but this fungal mycelium will contribute for their growth. So they also immobilize nutrients in the soil, and like bacteria, they produce organic acids. They include humic acid rich organic matter that is resistant to degradation. And often these fungi can exist in soil for hundreds of years. And often these fungi show association with living plants, and this association with the root of higher plants are called mycorrhizal formation. And normally this is common in higher plants or trees. This mycorrhizal association will help the nutrient availability. In return, energy will be absorbed from the plant cells. And this mycorrhiza are of two types. One is called ectomycorrhiza and endomycorrhiza. And if you see this diagram, this is the pine tree. The root of pine tree has growth of mycelia over the surface, outer of pine tree. On the outer surface of pine tree, we can see lot of mycelial growth. And this growth of mycelia are called ectomycorrhiza. But if you see some other plants, often these mycorrhiza are seen within the cell. Some plants have fungal mycelia growth within the cell, and it is called endomycorrhiza. This is an association between the plants and the microorganism. So there are a lot of multiple intimate relationship are there between plants and microorganisms. Often microorganisms and plants are having intricate relationship which come under the purview of soil microbiology. We know the leguminous plants are capable of producing root nodules, and within these root nodules bacteria will grow, and the bacteria which are growing within this root nodules are capable of nitrogen fixation. One intricate relationship between plant and microorganisms is nitrogen fixation, that is a symbiotic association. Often we know there are root nodules present on leguminous plants on their roots, and these nodules are formed by nitrogen fixing bacteria on which they will grow and do the nitrogen synthesis. Mainly this is formed in leguminous plants, and what they do is the root nodule will help the bacteria in getting organic carbon formed by the or assimilated by the plants. In return, bacteria will be doing nitrogen fixation, which will be utilized by the plant. So this is a bartering mechanism where plants will get nitrogen and bacteria will get carbon. And we know globally, if we think, nitrogen fixation is a very serious deal, as 2% of global energy is for making nitrogen fertilizers, and this process is what nitrogen fixing bacteria is doing. So it is through the process of nitrogen fixation, natural or microbe mediated nitrogen fixation, a lot amount of energy is saved. And what is biological nitrogen fixation? 2 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen will combine to form 2NH3. This is the nitrogen fixation reaction, and this ammonia can be converted to nitrate or nitrite. And this is carried out with the help of an enzyme called nitrogenase. This is prompted by, or this is favored by, the presence of bacteria which are growing symbiotically within the root nodules. And what is the association? After infection of a root by a nitrogen fixing bacteria, they will form small nodules, and after infection the bacteria within a cell is called bacteriocytes, bacteroids. Now it is called, or the bacteria enclosed in a plant cell is called symbiosome, and the DNA from bacteria will migrate to the plant genome or to the nucleus of the plant cell. Now a root hair on which this bacteria entered undergo a curving, then there will be formation on an infection thread, then the division of the cells in the root will start, thus a nodule will be formed, and the microorganisms will grow within them, and they will do the nitrogen fixation. And this nitrogen fixation is commonly happening with the NIF genes. The genes which are doing this nitrogen fixation are called NIF genes. And so this is a symbiotic method of nitrogen fixation, and this is an intimate relationship between plant and microorganism, and this is a part of soil microbiology. Similarly, mycorrhizal formation is also a relationship between plant and microorganisms. So, what we discussed today: soil microbiology deals with microorganisms and interaction with the soil. If you see the microorganisms present in the soil, 40% are formed by bacteria and actinomycetes, another 40% by protozoan, algae and fungi, and remaining 20% is contributed by larger form of organisms. And these microorganisms are having definite roles like decomposers, mineralizers, mutualizers, chemoautotrophs, etc., and also as parasites. But apart from this, they do specific processes like nitrogen fixation and mycorrhiza formation. These are the associations between plants and microorganisms through which they help the growth and development of plants. And thank you very much for your patient listening.